So we are going to start with some review questions from 1.9. So let's do number 1, where you find the distance between the 2 points, which is points 1, 4, and 3, -1. So remember the distance formula, which is equal to d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's label these points. So this is x1, made a mistake, y1, x2, y2. So now all you have to do is plug it into the formula. You will get 3 plus 1 squared, -1 minus 4 squared. Then you keep simplifying it, which is square root of 16 plus 25, with the final answer is equal to square root of 41. Now let's do another question, number 2. You want to find the midpoint between the point -3, 1 and -5 and 5. So the midpoint formula is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Same thing as before, you just have to plug in the values, which is, let's make this x1, y1, x2, so x2, y2. So now let's plug it in. Y1 is 1 plus 5 over 2, and you get your midpoint value to be -4 and 3. Okay, so for question number 3, you want to find the center. Find the center and radius. Oh, hold on. Of the circle. Remember that this is the equation for a circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h and k, they are the center, and r is equal to the radius. So now back to this problem, you can see that the center is -3, and the y, since there's no number next to it, it will be 0, so the center will be equals to -3 and 0. For the radius, r, you have to square root it, so it will be square root of 24. So this will be our answer for that question. So let's do another example of finding the radius and center for a circle. So find the radius and center of the circle. X squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 6y plus 12 equal to 0. So you want to group all the x together first and then group all the y together. So let's rewrite this as x squared plus 4x, I'm going to leave it blank, plus y squared minus 6y plus 12 equal to 0. The reason why I'm leaving this blank is because you will be doing completing the square. So this, to find the value in these, all you have to do is, from the x value, you do 4 over 2 over 2. So it will be, that's the formula, b over 2 squared. So when you do b over 2, you get 4 divided by 2 squared goes to 4. And then for this value, you would do -6 or 6 over 2 squared, because after you square it, it will still be positive. So it will be 9. So whatever you add on one side, you have to add it back on the other side. So let's rewrite this as x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 and 12 equals to 13, because you want to add 4 and 9 to the other side. And then when you do complete square, you will get x plus 2 squared, y minus 3 squared, plus 12. You want to get rid of the 12, you minus on both sides. So final answer will be equal to x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals to 1. And that's how you write this as a standard form for the equation of a circle. So that is the standard form. From here, you can see the center to be -2 and 3, and the radius is equal to 1. Okay, so let's do one more example where you find the equation of the circle with center 1, -2, and passing through the point 5 and 2. So for this question, you can use the distance formula to find out your radius. So if you do this, same thing as before. So let's label as x1, y1, x2, y2. Now you just have to plug it into this formula. So x1, x2 is 5. So you do 5 minus 1 squared plus y2 is 2 and y1 is -2. So just be careful with the sign here. So you get 4 squared is 16. And then you do 2 minus -2 is 4. So 4 squared is 16. And then when you simplify it, it becomes this. And the answer, or 32, where to go, 32, yeah, 32. So the answer will be x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals to 32. That will be the standard equation for a circle. So here's some information. Here's a remark. Hold on, let me just mark that the equation of a circle can be written in two forms. So okay, so one of the form that you guys are familiar with now is this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to r squared. But you can also see something like this: x minus h squared over r squared, y minus k squared over r squared equals to 1. So these two, both of them, are equation for a circle. So when the radius, when the denominator is different, it will make something like this. So for example, if you have something like x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1, it will actually make an ellipse. How? Because a squared will be, so this is the 1, it will be negative a and positive a right here, and b negative b. So they're all at different points. And then it will make something like this. But for this section, you will be focusing on the equation of a circle. So this you will see in the future, where the denominator is not the same. So now moving on to section 1.10, lines. So there are different forms to represent lines. Different forms to represent lines. So the first form is the slope intercept form, which is written as y equals to mx plus b, where m represents the slope of the line and the b is the y-intercept. So what this will look like is something like this. So this is equal to the y-intercept, and this is the line. So the way you find slope is rise over run. So m is equal to the slope, which is also equal to rise over run, which is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that is the formula for finding your slope. So here is some example. When m is greater than 0, that means it's a positive slope. You will see something like this going up this way. When m is less than 0, you will have a negative going down this way. M equal to 0, you'll see something like this. When you see a graph like this, that's when m is undefined, there's no slope. So these are some of the situations that you guys will see. So let's do an example. Oh no, there's two more forms. So this is one way of writing your representing a line. The second way of representing a line, number one, let me label this. The second way of representing a line is called the point slope form. The point slope form, which can be written as y minus y1 equals to m x minus x1. It's the same thing, except that this is basically the same as the slope-intercept form. If you distribute the m times x and then m times negative x1. So we only use this. So we will use this when we know the slope and a point. Slope and a point. My x1, y1 is equal to any point on the line. So the third way of representing lines is the standard form of a line, so which is the general form, the standard form of a line, which is ax plus by equals to c. So let's start with problem number 1. Let me just, hold on. Start with problems. Find the equation of the line passing through the point P of 3, negative 1, and Q, negative 2 and 1. So for this problem, you can use the point slope form using either of the points. So point slope form using either point. So m is equal to y2 minus y1, because first you want to find the slope, right? So it's equal to m equals to y2 minus y1 x over x2 minus x1, and you will get 1 plus 1 over negative 2 minus 3, which will give you 2 over negative 5. So you can represent the line as y plus 1 equals to negative 2 over 5 plus 3. This will be correct, and as well as y minus 1 equal to negative 2 over 5 x plus 2. Oh, sorry, this is x minus 3. Mistake right here, it's supposed to be minus 3. So these two correct. Okay, so next problem. The slope-intercept form this is the formula for slope-intercept form, y equals to mx plus b. So let's use the points. So using points P3, negative 1, and knowing that m is equals to negative 2 over 5. So we know the slope, and now we have a point. So all we have to do is to plug it into the formula. So you will get y is negative 1 equals to the slope is equals to negative 2 over 5. The x is 3 plus b. So in this question, you will be able to find out your y-intercept as well, because yes, move it down. So you will find out that b is equal to, so let's work it out. Negative 1 equals to negative 6 over 5 plus b. B is equal to negative 1 plus 6 over 5. So then this is your y-intercept. B equals to 1 over 5. And you can rewrite the whole equation as, you can rewrite the whole thing as y equals to negative 2 over 5x plus 1 over 5. So that's how you write it in the slope-intercept form. So another way from the slope-intercept form, so this is another way. Slope, the point slope form. sorry, the point y plus 1 equals to negative 2 over 5 x minus 3. If you distribute it, you will get negative 2 over 5x minus 6 over 5, and then you want to solve for y, so you want to move the 1 to the other side, so 1 equals to negative 2 over 5x minus 6 over 5 minus 5 over 5. And you will get the same answer of y equals to negative 2 over 5x plus 1 over 5. So now let's move on to the standard and general form. So in standard and general form, which can be expressed as ax plus by equals to c. From this, so let's use the formula. Let's use the equation that we found from the point slope form, or the slope intercept form. So let's just put it as y equals to negative 2 over 5x plus 1 over 5. So you want to get rid of the denominator, so you want to times everything from here by 5 to move it to the other side. So whatever you do on this side, you have to do on the other side. So it'd be 5 over 5y equals to negative 2x plus 1. And then you will have to move everything to make it into a standard form. So you put 2x plus 5y goes to 1. So that is how you write it, how you can change from the slope intercept form to the general form. So let's do one example where you find an equation of the line with x-intercept -4 and having a slope of 3 over 2. So when you see the word slope, you can immediately think of m equals to 3 over 2. And if the x-intercept -4 is -4, then you know that the point is equal to, you have a point of -4 and 0. So you can write this equation, since you know the point and the intercept, you can write this equation in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals to m of x minus x1. So then you will do y minus 0 equals to 3 over 2 x plus 4. So that would be your final answer. So there are 2 remarks, things to mention. So when 2 lines are said to be parallel if their slopes are equal. This means that M1 will be equal to M2, which means that these lines are parallel to each other if their slopes are equal. Then the second things to know is that two lines are said to be perpendicular if the slope of one is the negative reciprocal of the other. What this means is that M1 is equal to negative 1 over M2. So they're only perpendicular if the slope is the negative reciprocal of the other. So let's do an example. Find an equation of the line A is perpendicular and B is parallel to the line 3x minus 4y equals to 10, and passing through the point 5 and negative 2. So when you see this equation, you have to see what is the slope of the line. So first you want to find out what is the slope of this line. And to solve for that, you solve for y. So 3x minus 4y equals to 10. Solve for y, and you get negative 4y equals to negative 3x plus 10. That you divide everything by negative 4, and you get y equals to positive 34x minus 10 over 4. So now you know the slope is the slope of M1 is equal to 3, 4. So then that means that M2, the slope of M2, the slope of the second line, since it's perpendicular, so let's do from A. Since perpendicular it means that it has to be the negative reciprocal of m1. So m2 will be equals to negative 1 over m1, which is equals to negative 4 over 3. And the point, since we have the point, we can also write it in a point slope formula, which is y plus 2 equals to negative 4 over 3 x minus 5. So that would be the equation. So now for B, which is asking it to be parallel. So parallel means that the slope will be the same. So m1, the slope will be equals to m2. So you know that the slope would still be 3 over 4. And you can write this as y plus 2 equals to 3 over 4 x minus 5. So here are some remarks or points to note. Remarks. Question is, how does the line y equals to 10 looks like? So it will look something like this. This is y. It means that y equals to 10. So right here will be 10. So then just draw a horizontal line. That is y equals to 10. So then how does the line x equals to negative 2 looks like? It would be something like this. Oh, oops. Let me just... It's negative 2, so it'll be right here, negative 2. So it will look like this. Let me go. So this will be x equals negative 2. So this is a vertical. And this is it's like horizontal. Now, let's do another example problem. Find an equation of the line that is tangent to the circle x minus 1 squared plus y squared equals to 5 at the point negative 1 and 1. So from here, you can tell that the center of the circle is equal to 1 and 0. And the radius is equal to radical of 5. So you want to find the slope that passes through the point 1, negative 1 and 1, and the center 1 and 0. So the slope of the line that passes through, okay. Let me just write that down. Slope that passes through P of negative 1, 1, and the center 1 and 0. So M1 would be 1 minus 0 over -1 minus 1, which will give you -1/2. So this is the slope. This is the slope of the tangent line. So this is the slope of the tangent line. So what this will look like is, so this will be, it will look something like this. So then let's draw the graph. This is 1, 0. Then this other point is up -1 and 1. And then let's draw a circle. Let's see. I think there's a tool to make it draw a circle. I guess I'll just look like this. Hold on, let me just. So what I'm saying before is not correct. So this is not the slope of a tangent line. This is just the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points, right? So then what that means is that this is actually the line. This is actually the slope of this line that passes through the point. So this is actually the line that passes through this line. The slope of this line, the dotted line, is equals to -1/2. And in order to find the slope of the tangent line, you know that it's going to be reciprocal because they're perpendicular to each other, right? So then it will be M2 equals to -1 over M1. So you will get something of +2 because you do the negative reciprocal of -1/2. So that is the slope of the tangent line. Tangent line. And then when you draw the circle, it will look something like this. Okay. So that would be the circle. So that is it. So that's it.